There it is. Experimentation and hero pools. Hero fucking pools. Oh boy. Here we go. The madmen actually fucking did it. Brace yourselves. When I first heard about this, I was not happy. We'll see. We'll see. Come join me as we watch the developer update.
Hi everyone, this is Jeff with the
Hi,
Overwatch
Jeff.
team. Really excited to be back here in 2020 for our first developer update. So everyone on the Overwatch team listens to and gets a ton of feedback about the game. And we love hearing from you. And in the past few months, I would say, this isn't based on science, but there are two topics that come up the most, that we hear of the most. One is, what's the team's philosophy on balance, and could the team balance the game more frequently and or better? That comes up a lot, like a lot of discussion about the balance of gameplay and hero balance. And then the other thing that we hear a lot of feedback and comments on is the concept of the meta of the game. What heroes are played, are there other heroes that are viable to be played at any time, and what could the Overwatch team do to make sure that the meta was moving along more fluidly and more frequently. So I want to spend today's developer update talking about some things that...
I want to pause it there because it's like... The way he phrased it there is like, the issue isn't so much the meta, it's that we get stuck on the meta for like 6 months, 12 months, and it just becomes like, ugh. If the game was balanced more frequently and patched more frequently and like powerful heroes were reined in and nerfed down, then the meta changes and reaction organically, right?
We're doing
Very
very soon
no,
that will
kind
address
of.
these 2 points,
Kind
balance
of.
and the meta. So let's start with balance. I
Brace
think,
yourself.
Everybody's interested in balance in some way or another. In the past, the Overwatch team has faced some criticism for being a little bit slow when it comes to our balance patches.
I wish you just ended the sentence there. In the past, the Overwatch team has faced criticism for being a little bit slow. And yeah, we no.
Often heard that players want to see
There's actually a lot of
frequently.
intelligent people.
They want us to try more things. They want us to be more aggressive with changes. They want us to be willing to revert changes that the community perceives as not being good.
Yeah.
We have tried to use the public test realm in the past to test some balance changes, but as you know, things stay on the PTR, the public test realm, for quite some time. And we don't always make a lot of dramatic changes once something makes its way to the
PTR is
public
literally
test
exists
realm.
for bug fixing.
We have something that I think is really cool,
This is cool.
and really exciting in the pipe and in the works that will be coming soon to Overwatch.
It's not hero bans.
Which is called the experimental card.
So this is cool.
So we have our main play cards, as you know, there's quick play, competitive, the game browser, which we call our main play cards. Every now and then, coming in the future, you will see a card pop up that says experimental. This experimental card will be some number of changes. They might be related to hero balance. They might be related to other things. We could be testing changes to the way one of our game modes work, like the control game mode and how it works in competitive. It doesn't have to be balance related.
Just a lot. Basically,
But the
they're putting
experimental
PTR into
card will
life.
come up
I think it's really
every now and then when we want to test something, and it will give all players of Overwatch, not just players who want to go to the PTR, but all players, including console players, will be able to use the experimental card to test changes out that we're trying as a development team. The really cool thing
PTR
about the
will probably not
experimental
exist
card
anymore.
is because it is in the main game of Overwatch and not some separate public test realm, is that you'll still be leveling up your Overwatch account. You'll still get rewards. If we were running something like, if you remember way back when we had Diva's Nano Cola Challenge, and if you got 9 wins, we gave you a skin.
Hey,
That
boobly.
would apply if the
Continues the hype
experimental
train as
card
well.
was up. Those wins would
Spicy new
count,
thing.
in the experimental card.
It
So
says hype.
we feel like players will be rewarded.
Doesn't that
You
feel
don't have to
organic?
change your behavior. It should drive a lot more players to helping us test out changes. Also, unlike the public test realm, the point of the experimental card
Thank you,
is
Boobly,
not
by the way.
stability and bug testing. That's not what we're really looking for in the experimental card. We're looking at gameplay changes and player reactions to those gameplay changes. So
Yeah,
we
so
really
this sounds
welcome
pretty
all
cool.
of you to check this out. It's going to take us a few weeks to get the first experimental card up, so please be patient with us. But you'll notice it when we add it to the game, and we really welcome, in addition to our PC players who have been helping us.
Right, so it's also on console, right. It's like, yeah, this is really cool. Like, it's incentivizing people to play on the PTR. It makes the PTR more approachable as well. You don't have to download a separate thing. It's not like hidden away under like a click box or anything like that. So you'll get more use out of this, right? It also means, what it means is that they can use it more aggressively. They can just throw changes on there, see how people react, and then go with those changes or not go with those changes, and just sort of really see how it develops. This is a really cool thing. Josh knows. Josh
On the
knows.
public test realm.
Josh
welcome
knows what's coming.
The entire console community.
I don't
to
like it.
now
I
help
don't
us,
like it at all.
Try out new and fun ways of playing Overwatch and providing us with feedback. Along with the experimental card, we're also going to change our balance philosophy, which is going to be balance more frequently, more aggressively, and be less concerned with trying something out and maybe pulling it back later. So that's a change. We're going to try some pretty aggressive balance changes. We are going to deliberately target the meta. Before, we used to balance with stability in mind, stability of the entire game, all players in mind. Now we are going to balance more aggressively, targeting the meta and moving you off of the meta as frequently as possible, which means...
What kind of does annoy me about this is it doesn't address the key thing, and it's like, the issue isn't that a meta exists, the issue is that certain things... So all a meta is an exploitation of what's powerful. If Baptiste is flat out a better healer than everyone else, it is meta to play Baptiste. So it's not like nerf to fix the meta, it's just nerf the overpowered shit, and the meta kind of follows along. And the issue that I think they've always had is that they've always tried to anticipate the meta, and they've always tried to control it too much. Whereas if they just like tone down what's powerful and what's really strong and what's making those combinations of heroes especially strong, stuff like Orisa May, for example, at very high levels, is considered insanely powerful because one good halt and you freeze their entire team and they're ruined, right? Or like Halt Rock, for example, as well. And if you start hitting what's those really powerful things, then the meta is just going to change organically no matter what. You'll just start seeing changes. It's not a complex idea, right? So it feels to me like this is... Maybe that's kind of what they're doing, and this is just a way to like get ahead of the train, because Stai's video is going to go live, I'm sure, and it's going to be like, Jeff talks, huge meta change. It's stuff like that, right? It's like... He's trying to get ahead of that discussion and trying to hit the buzzwords that people actually talk about and use, but yeah, it's just still kind of weird, inorganic way of doing it.
Some heroes might get buffed, some heroes might get, some changes to
Scatters
make them
back.
weaker. When that happens,
Just you wait.
we
Just
might
you wait.
revert it a few weeks later. So be
Hero
looking for this
pools.
type of balancing to happen.
Hero
Be looking for changes in the experimental card, some of which will never go live. So just
PTR
because you
might
see it on
actually
the
stay
experimental
for
card doesn't
stability
mean it's going to
reasons.
happen in Overwatch. These are some balance changes
I'd be curious to
that
see
are going to
that.
be different and coming soon to Overwatch. And all of this is based on what we've been hearing from you. We've been hearing this is what you want. You want us to balance more frequently.
Because
you want us to
what's
target the
coming,
meta.
and I said as much
you
about
want these
this.
changes to happen more often, and you want us to include you in the process more. So all of this is designed to address that feedback. Now, I'd like to talk about Season 21 of Competitive for a minute. Season 21 of Competitive, we are going to try something that's going to be very new and very different to help move players off of the meta, or to prevent players from stagnating on any one meta too long.
Here we fucking go.
Coming with Season 21, which begins in March, so you have some time to kind of prepare for this. Coming with Season 21, we will be introducing to competitive only. This will not affect quick play. It will not affect any of the arcade modes. We will be introducing hero pools. Like we have map pools, what hero pools mean is for that week, and the hero pool will only last for 1 week, and then there will be a new hero pool. There will be some heroes that will not be included in the hero pool. For example, in the first week of the hero pool, let's say Season 21 had just started, maybe Orisa, Sigma, May, and Moira are not in the hero pool. So players will have to think of a new strategy. that doesn't involve those heroes, and that will last for 1 week, and then the hero pool will change. Again, this is competitive only. This is targeted.
So let that sink in for a second. They're setting the pool. Yeah, exactly. Missile Mage has hit the fucking nail on the head, right? Instead of doing hero bans, I know I'm in the way of like where the chat is here. Let me like move this. I know there's a little bit of recursion, but just so I can like cheat and get chat on the screen. Instead of putting hero bans, they've gone, you know what? We're going to decide the hero bans for you. We're going to do the hero bans for you. We're going to make sure that you can't play the meta heroes. And we're going to make sure that, oh, well, you guys don't like the meta? Well, fine, you can't play the meta anymore. Orisa doesn't exist in the game for a week. Good luck. And it's, to me, it's almost like, I've had a little bit of time to like think of my thoughts on this. And I said, like, because Sty and I talked about it and like to get our thoughts together on like how this is as like a sounding board. And to me, it sounds petulant, which is this. You want the meta to change faster? Okay, we're going to do more balanced changes more aggressively to change and target the meta. We're going to try and do that. We're also just going to make it so that if there is a set meta, you cannot play it. And it's like, why? And the issue that Sty and I also run into is like one of the issues with Overwatch, or one of the things that's manifested over time with Overwatch, is that there's a lot of people who only play 1 or 2 heroes, right? They want to, like, you queue into ranked, and like this used to be the crux of our argument, right? If I go into ranked, I go play, and I click competitive, and I click on my support, I'm ready, and I go, I'm a Zenyatta main, I'm going to play Zenyatta. If Zenyatta's banned that week, what do I do? And the answer isn't, oh, I'm going to use this learning experience to go and pick up a new hero. That's what I'm going to do. No, what ends up happening is I go and install Escape from Tarkov and I play that for a week instead. And then I forget that Overwatch exists, right? That, to me, is what they're going to run into. 100% is what they're going to run into is, oh, well, I'm a Doomfist main. Doomfist is banned this week. I'm just not going to play ranked. And it's like, the last thing you want to do on a game that's, you know, had declining popularity is include more reasons for people to stop playing. It strikes me as insane. Like, I don't understand the reason why they went for this nuclear option. Because here's the thing, right? When Star was like laying out to me, like, okay, yeah, this update is going to have like this, and this. And it's like, okay, experimental cards, sounds fucking great. Balance changes kind of come quicker. They're more open to reverting changes. They want to target the meta more. Okay, fine, fair enough. You know what? I'll see how it goes. Sounds better than what we have currently. And then this shit hit, and I was just like, this is mental. This is mental. And it's like, you also get the issue of like, okay, well, Hammond is banned. Well, there's going to be a shitload of tanks out there now these days. I'm just going to like, oh boy, I can't wait to have the Hammond main on Reinhardt who doesn't know a fucking thing about how to play Reinhardt. Oh boy, that's exciting. That's going to be a good time. Here's the thing, I was never a huge proponent of hero bans. I've never been a big fan of hero bans. To me, they're like a band-aid solution. Because what you'll end up with is just a ban meta, and then there'll just be a meta formed by the ban meta of you must ban Sigma, and you must ban Mei, and then you must play this team comp afterwards. And if you don't ban those, people will get upset and angry and start rage quitting because, oh my god, you didn't ban the right hero. Like, it won't work in a game like Overwatch where there just isn't a big enough hero pool, I think, to play around with bans properly. I think it's an interesting idea, but as the game as it exists right now, like, it won't work in Overwatch League, for example, because, you know. And here's the thing, like, we discussed this of like, well, how are they going to do Overwatch League? Are they going to do the same thing in Overwatch League? You know, and all I can picture is like NYXL versus Philadelphia Fusion playing for a playoff spot. They've got Chips up. He's training all fucking year for this one, boys. He's ready to go, grinding out that Doomfist like no tomorrow, and Doomfist is banned this week. Like, to me, it's a monkey's paw. It's like, oh yeah, we want the meta to change, we want the meta to be more dynamic and fluid, and they've just gone, okay, sure, we can do that for you. You can't play certain heroes, and that's going to mess with the meta. It feels so weird to me. Of like, you like, it just annoys me. It's clunky. It's inelegant. It's not a solution. It's, we can't be asked to deal with Doomfist, so we're just graying him out for a week. It also depends on, like, you know, how many heroes are going to be banned that week? How many tanks are going to be banned that week? Is it just going to be one of each? If it is, does that really change things up a huge amount? Does that just stop certain people from playing? It feels so weird to me as a solution.
At keeping the meta fluid, or the meta from stagnating, and really getting to more hero diversity. Now, we know there's some challenges with this concept. This is what I would consider to be something that we would be willing to change if we don't feel like it's going correctly. We could make the hero pools last longer. We can make the hero pools move faster. We can make the hero pools change every match. There's all sorts of ways that we could adjust.
Can you imagine if it changed every match? Man, I can't wait to play Trace. Oh wait, no, she's not available this game. Again, all this does is, for that week, people will figure out very quickly, oh, this hero isn't available, okay, play this one instead, and it just kind of slots in. It doesn't help the game's depth as well, of just like imagine if, okay, Sea Surfer, like, you've been playing a little bit of Counter-Strike lately. Imagine if for a week the AWP just wasn't available. You'd have to change your entire strategy on how to hold certain maps and how to play certain maps, because suddenly this big sightline blocking, controlling presence is just removed. It's like, you can't develop depth if the game changes that quickly. There's always like a balance with meta, right? Of, you can go too slowly, in which case it stagnates and you just end up in like, this is absolutely the best thing to do, we will play this until we die. Or you go too quickly, in which case you don't get a developed meta, you don't get depth, you don't get like, this is the, like, oh, this works, but if you do this clever thing, oh, this is really good. Thank you, Bullet, by the way, very much appreciated. And it's like, it just feels so draconian to me. It just feels arbitrary, of just like, we can't figure out how to balance this game, so we're just going to do this. And maybe this will shut you guys up about the meta, because you can't complain about the meta if there isn't a meta. The big brain play.
On this, but starting with Season 21, we're going to start it with a weekly hero pool. Very exciting is that the Overwatch League is excited about this idea as well, and they will be implementing a
Can you imagine, like, being a person who runs an organization, and you've hired a player like Carpe, or, you know, you pick up a star player of like, oh man, this person's like so good on this hero, and then, yeah, you don't get to play him because, yeah, you've just thrown money into a furnace, effectively.
As well, and the Overwatch League will be releasing a blog describing how they approach hero pools, and they were very excited to see the meta moving more frequently. Also,
I guarantee you, no player, no coach, nobody liked this idea. Can you imagine being a team trying to practice like trying to set up a scrim schedule and like be, okay, we're playing on a week where these heroes are banned, so when we scrim, we can't play those heroes. Oh, but we're playing on a week where these heroes are banned, so you can't play those heroes. You're like, they're gonna have to figure out all this sort of shit with how they scrim, how they practice, how they arrange their time. And then it's just like, okay, well, yeah, you just don't get to play this week because you're a hit scan specialist, so there's no good hit scan heroes available.
Also,
this
just
week.
Want to say how excited for the 2020 season, which is starting soon for the Overwatch League. We all are. So as you can see, there's some very big changes coming to Overwatch. As always, we are listening to you. And
the one thing I have picked up from this, and like from this developer update and from a little bit of the back and forth behind the scenes, is this is a tentative idea, I think. They want to try it, and they're trying it on Season 21. Give it a go. It's going to happen in March, which is like, you know, it's a month away, pretty much, literally, and see how that goes, right? Let's just try it for a season and see how that is. I reckon the feedback on this is going to be almost universally 100% negative because I can see no great positives. Like, as a player, why would I be happy about this? Like, I think that's the real hard thing that I'm struggling as. As an Overwatch player, why would I be pleased that this is happening? I haven't checked.
We feel like any of these things aren't working out well. We're always open to change and iteration. We have that experimental card. We have hero pools coming to season 21. Now that's not all. As always,
that's not
there's
all.
a huge anti-cheat effort going on.
Okay, anti-cheat.
It's
that's
in my
good.
best interest and the game's best interest.
I'm sorry, we've hired Kefri, and he's going over every single replay at 0.25 speed, and that's going to make sure that no one can cheat in this game.
Not to discuss the details of what's happening for anti-cheat, but we have some major things in the next 2 patches going in to address anti-cheat, and as always, all of the reports are super helpful to us.
One-trick ponies are
Please
fucked.
keep those coming. We really love your help with anti-cheat. We have
Here's the grim truth about that as well. One of the best ways to grow an Overwatch stream is to be the best at a specific hero. But if that hero is banned this week, well, I guess I'm stuck playing another one. And then what are they going to do? What are they going to do? They're going to go, if I go to twitch.tv right now, and I go to categories, and I'm a big streamer. I want to grow my stream nice and big, and I want to get big and popular. Oh yes, that's me. I'm Mr. Popular. That's what I want to be. And I bring this over here, and I go, where? Okay, 35k. Like that's only gone up recently. Like for about 20 minutes ago, before this update went live, Apex Legends was higher. Tarkov's higher, Warcraft is higher, Dota is higher, Counter-Strike is higher, League is higher, Fortnite's higher. I'm just going to go and play something else.
big workshop update, which we'll be releasing either a blog post or a forum post about, so you can read all of the details there. And then there's some other just really fun quality of life things that are coming down the pipe. Pretty soon there's going to be some great improvements to replays. You're going to be able to pin a replay. So if one of your 10 replays is very special to you and you want to save it for that patch, you can pin it and always go back to it. And we're working on the ability for you to share your replays with other players where they could play your replay in their version of Overwatch. I think this will be really fun for content creators in particular. You'll be able to do some really cool things.
That literally coaching the many overanalyzed, that's the fucking dream, right? That instead of just sending in videos, instead of having to record videos, if you can just send a replay file and I can just plug that in, fucking yes.
With some shared replays from your communities. I think that will be really great. We've got some quality of life improvements coming to the career profile that some of you have been asking for ages. So career profile is going to get a major overhaul for Overwatch 2, but that's way further down the pipe. That's not in the immediate future. But for the current Overwatch game, we want to do a light refresh of the career profile and just kind of clean up some of those things that have been bothering a lot of us for some time. So in the meantime, we're going to have some things like the ability to sort player icons coming to the career profile in the next few months. So that's a lot of what we're working on for the live game right now. I know you're going to give us a ton of feedback. I can't wait to hear it all. We're really excited, I think most of all for this experimental card, because it will let so many of you help us make the game better. Thank you for everything, and let's hope we have a great 2020.
Oh, Jeff. Oh, what have you done? Yeah. So I've been sat on that information for about for a few days, and it doesn't get better with age. You don't come around to it. You don't go, yeah, no, this is a great plan. This is the thing that is really going to make Overwatch fresh again, right? Okay, so I loaded this page pretty much immediately. Massive like to dislike ratio. I'm guessing it's just purely people clicking like because it's Overwatch news. It's Overwatch news. Yeah, Mercy Ban Week is gonna Mercy Band Week's going to be a nightmare. Moira Band Week could be a nightmare. Like, there's a lot of heroes that are like, oh, if that hero's banned, I'm just gonna kind of be worried about the quality of the people playing those heroes. It's weird to me of like, yeah, we're going to target the meta more with balance patches, and we're going to delete the fucking meta as well just by erasing heroes from the game. Just Thanos snapping them out. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And I'm gonna keep saying I don't like it, to be honest. People want coaching on a meta that changes every single week. It's like, oh, try and improve your Genji. Oh, by the way, you can't play him. Or it's gonna, like, you're gonna have a whole pseudo metagame as well of like, oh, well, this hero's counter just doesn't exist this week, so hey, go nuts. Oh, we're playing a week without Widowmaker and McCree. Well, play Pharah. Easy wins. It's bizarre to me. It's such a strange decision. And again, I think the biggest sticking point I have is, as a player of the game, why would I be excited about this news? The question is if they release every week's hero pool before the season starts. I imagine not, because the way he made it sound was like, oh, we'll specifically target like meta heroes as well. We'll see, like, maybe it's just an automated system of like, this is the most popular hero, get rid of them, kill them. But like, that to me is insane. Of like, oh yeah, people love playing this hero, let's stop them from playing it. It's absurd. It's absolutely absurd to me. And I'm glad that I'm not alone in this, so yeah. Do you know what the numbers are for what's banned? No, and I imagine they don't either. I imagine that's something they're going to experiment on and iterate on. Because here's the thing, like, banning one tank might not have much impact. And like, the issue is, like, banning a main tank like Orisa, then they just go to Reinhardt, and you just play Rein Zarya. Or maybe you could get away with Rein Sigma. If they ban Reinhardt, you just play Orisa. Like, it doesn't change that much, to be honest. It's so bizarre to me of like, I don't see the purpose. I don't see what they're going for aside from just trying to shake up the game for the sake of shaking up the game. And that's kind of the fear when you tell the developers enough of like, hey, target the meta. I realized they made too many characters. I don't think the character numbers like the issue. I think the issue is they don't have a strong enough balance team to like deal with it. Like, I think this game is manageable. I don't think it's an impossible thing to like make this game actually work and function properly. Personal bans, sure. Here's the thing with hero bans and me. I'm fine trying it for a season, and like seeing how it goes. I don't think it will fix a lot of the problems. Or a lot of the perceived problems, at the very least. Because here's the thing, I'd want to join a game and just ban Doom. Like, as a support player, I just want to ban Doomfist every game, because that opens up so much more play for me. But the more tactical ban might be like Orisa or Sigma, right? Because that, like, opens up play for the entire team. I'm not a fan. What do you think of the idea that they're experimenting with something this extreme? I'm fine with the experiment. It's weird to me that they're introducing the experimental tab and then just putting this into competitive and seeing how it goes. Which tells me they really do want a lot of data about it, or they're really confident that it'll work and that this is the way they want to do it. But from Jeff's language and like the language being used, I don't think they're that confident, and I imagine there's going to be like a wave of, oh my god, we got hero balance news, guys, it's so exciting, and then it's just going to be, what the fuck? Like, what are they doing? Why are they doing this? What's happening? And the upside, people can't throw with bans. Yeah, I've always hated that. I've always hated the idea of being able to throw with a ban in something like League. Oh, you didn't ban this hero? Lol, game's over, we lose. Oh, they got that champion? Oh, we can't win anymore. Where? we're in silver, but we still can't win because they got the meta hero. How will Sty's video be toned? He'll probably, if I had to anticipate what Sty's going to do, he's probably going to release a video that's just sort of fairly neutral and just presents all the new information, but wrapped up in Sty's language rather than Jeff's, and then he'll give a more opinionated vid afterwards. And he was kind of as confused by this as I was, to be honest. We're both kind of like, this. There's a lot of reasons of why this is bad. From a content creation point of view, there are some positives of like every week there's something to talk about of like, this week these heroes are out, so you might want to play this style, or this week is more oriented towards dive. Dive might be very strong for this week because these heroes aren't being played anymore. Oh look, Maze ban, you can play Winston. Enjoy, right? There's stuff to talk about there at least, but it still feels detrimental to the health of the game as a whole. And yeah, I'm not a fan. I am not a fan. I see the same heroes being banned every 2 weeks. It depends. Like, here's the thing, because they could go very heavy on this and like go, okay, this week's dive week. So in dive week, Orisa's banned, Sigma's banned, Torb is banned, Bastion's banned, like anything slow and immobile is banned out, Reaper's banned, and you've got to play, you know, stuff that's a bit faster, Maze banned. There's an ESPN interview about this. Do you have a link? You are not a sub, Edmund, so... and let me just like... Let me just get that out. There you go, Edmund. It's random from a pool of the most played. I'm guessing there's like a link somewhere. If I go to like ESPN Esports on Twitter. Here we go. Yeah, sure, cookies. Why not? Go nuts. Okay, let's read. Activision announced a change. Yeah, okay. Overwatch League. Okay, it's not just going to be what tank is played the most. John Spector, Vice President of Overwatch League, told ESPN. We're going to take several heroes that are getting significant playtime in our matches and we'll put them into a pool, randomly pulling out from that pool one tank, two damage, and one support hero. So... Like, I really don't like that from a point of view of, like, Overwatch League. I don't find that enjoyable. I want people playing the best Overwatch they possibly can. If patches are faster and it changes it for everybody, but like the idea of, okay, well, they're just going to have to alternate learning Orisa strats and Reinhardt strats. It's like they've seen the problem that is stagnant meta, and it's like they've heard this over and over and over again, shouted at them. The meta stagnated. The meta stagnated. The meta stagnated. We played goats. Like, goats existed in the pro scene for like a year and a fucking half, right? It went on and 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 on, just non-stop. It did not go anywhere. It did not go away, and it was just like. Blizzard could have fixed that in so many ways. There were so many suggestions for how to fix goats. And if they wanted to put the kibosh on goats, they could have absolutely slammed Brigitte, for example. If they just wanted to make sure that goats went away and like the unstagnated the meta, slam Brigitte with a bunch of nerfs and then bring her back up slowly over time. Like every 2 weeks, release another patch that just buffs her back up incrementally to make her work. Change how stuns work, all that kind of stuff. And the quicker they did it, the less like solidified goats would have got. Because the thing with goats was this. Goats had a number of counter strategies being developed, and I think if they were developed very early, stuff like, you know, Sombra Doomfist, for example, was like a comp that was being run as kind of a goats counter very early on in the goats days, and it kind of worked. it kind of actually did the job. You could see that winning against Goats teams, but teams practicing Goats just got better and better and better and better and better and better and better at it, and eventually they got so good at it that they could just beat anything that quote-unquote counters it, right? They knew how to deal with the counters well enough. You also saw like pharmacy comps and stuff. If those comps came in earlier and Goats was weaker earlier, you probably wouldn't have seen that level of refinement, and you would have seen Goats go away pretty quickly because you wouldn't win games. And winning games is everything in Overwatch League. It's everything in contenders. It's everything in the Overwatch World Cup, for example. What you want is a strategy that wins, not a strategy that might be the best if you practice it for 3 years straight, right? It's not how it works. You might see a situation where week 1 Zenyatta is a little overpowered, played all the time, so in week 2 Zen gets pulled. By week 3 Zen is available again, but it has a hotfix balance change. It's like, why not just have the balance change? Like, it's just so weird to me of just like, why not just do a balance change instead? Why not see what's strong with Zenyatta? What's making Zen be played? Talk to your fucking pros. Talk to the coaches. Talk to the people. Like, you have this massive resource in Overwatch League's pros. They have a Discord chat with developers. You can very easily talk to a pro about, like, why is this hero so good? What makes this so strong? And they will probably be able to explain it to you, especially if you get talking to certain pros, the fucking clever ones, because don't get me wrong, some of them are fucking dumb, but some of them have big old brains, and you talk to someone like Fusions for, like, 20 minutes about tanking, and you will learn more about tanking than you ever could from anywhere else, right? And he will explain to you why Orisa Sigma is so strong. He will explain to you very eloquently why Reinhardt Zarya is so good. He will explain to you why Diva might be overpowered. These people know what they're talking about. Talk to the coaches. They will be able to explain to the developers, hopefully, why these strategies work. What is the linchpin that makes them work? Lately, a lot of the meta has been dictated not really by much else other than Orisa's Halt and Sigma's Rock. Right? Those two factors have been so crucial for so many things. Fortify is sort of another factor on it, and the Orisa is kind of very difficult to remove. But Fortify, Halt, and Rock, probably the big 3 defining abilities. And it's just so strange. And yeah, the big thing I see is just, I'm not going to play Overwatch this week. Fuck me, man. Bringing excitement to a league that's had a tumultuous off-season, losing broadcast talent, having no new additions of heroes or maps. Leagues patiently waiting for the release of Overwatch 2. Every week something new will be brought to the table. No longer will a team be able to escape by only knowing how to execute one style. It feels so artificial to me. While hero pools are exciting, they may also take away the mastery seen in previous seasons. By the time 222 was implemented, we've seen the Vancouver Titans and San Francisco Shock master and perfect the triple tank, triple support meta. It was awful to watch the two teams. Like, here's the thing, I don't think anyone's upset. Thank you, Dribs. It's appreciated.
Just ban Hanzo every week. That will make the game fresh for me at least tongue.
Make me happier. It's just so strange. It's so artificial, and again, I don't think it's healthier for the game, like, as a whole. It's what everyone's been saying. I'm just not going to play Overwatch. Like, I don't get to play the hero I want to play, and like this is a discussion that Sty and I were having back when Apex released. And like, one of the things we liked about Apex is if I want to play Wraith every game, I can play Wraith every game, pretty much. Like, there's occasional games where I don't get to play Wraith, very fucking rarely. If I want to play Tracer every game in Overwatch, I can't do that. And again, like, I don't think anyone was arguing for like, oh, we want the meta to change every week. You know what? I want a new meta every fucking week. No, I just don't want the meta to last 6 months, right? Games live and die in that time span of 6 months. Games come and go and vanish. And Overwatch, bless its heart, bless its little heart, Overwatch does not have enough appeal as an individual skill-based game for me to go, man, I can really see myself playing that a shitload, because well, if I just play this meta a lot, I get really good at first-person shooters, and that's going to carry over to all my other games, and I get to feel really good about how good I am. No, I get to play Baptiste, firing grenades into the backs of tanks and dropping immortality fields, and that's kind of my life. I don't feel like I'm really getting better. The quintessential argument is when I click my Steam, and comes up with this button. I recently got this achievement that I'm quite happy about. I've been ranking up lately in Dragon Ball FighterZ, and yeah, I played this week. There should be a thing somewhere of how much I've been playing this week. I can't actually see it. Last played today. I played it a bunch this morning for about 4 hours. Meta doesn't change that much in FighterZ. We're getting ready for Season 3, if you're curious. Hoping for some nerfs to some certain characters. GT Goku, looking at you, you little rat bastard. And yeah, it's like... But I get to feel like I'm improving at the game. I feel measurable improvements when I play it. In Overwatch, it's so dependent on the team, it's so dependent on the structure around you, it's so dependent on everything around you that the individual playmaking potential just doesn't quite exist. And yeah, it drives me kind of nuts. Playing CSGO has given me Playing CSGO has given me a better appreciation for a good meta. There are standard ways of playing, but going rogue and trying something different doesn't break the game. People don't get salty and can play around you. Yeah, it's also like CSGO has enough individual playmaking potential that, I mean, CSF, you are a great example of this. In the games where you joined us, okay, I didn't expect to win those games. Flat out saying it, and I'm sure you didn't either. And being honest, I don't think anyone gave a shit that we weren't going to win those games. Because, hey, yeah, you don't know the maps, you don't know the game, you don't know how it works, and you're not going to be very good at it. It's just part of the game. But I didn't feel helpless, right? There were rounds where we could play and win, and like, Miska pops off, Mist pops off, I pop off, some Duba just fucking kills everybody, right? It's all possible. In Overwatch, we tried playing Overwatch as Trash Can Esports for a brief period of time, but because there's such a disparity of skill levels where you have people like me, Miska, Ryan, like, who live and breathe this fucking game, and then you have people who just don't know what the hero's abilities are and don't know how it works and don't know the maps and don't know this, you just lose immediately because your DPS just doesn't do any damage, or your support doesn't know to do this at this specific time, and that meta failing kills everybody straight away. 9 times out of 10 it's Duba. Yeah, no, 9 times out of 10 Duba's just like 1v6, 1v5ing. It's just kind of crazy. It's just kind of disgusting. That lad is possessed. But it's a real issue with Overwatch where it's just like, yeah, that just can't happen. Like, you can't have that individual playmaking skill. And it's why when Jeff did his big discussion piece the other week and did a big old fucking post and was like, hey, by the way, yeah, we really want more individual play skill as part of the balance. Discussion of hero bans updated. Is this... I don't think this was it, was it? This... It's also funny to, like, go back and look at this, by the way. They mentioned somewhere, I think it was during the... It wasn't the hero bans post, I think it was the other big post before then. But, like, they want to do more... Like, Jeff feels that, oh, they might have overbalanced for team play. Right? And, hey, yeah, I completely agree with that. I think 100% they have overbalanced for team play. I think that there is an overemphasis on the team working as a big cohesive whole. When you get a bunch of strangers on the internet, that's not good. That's not very, very good. Apparently the pros didn't know this was coming. I'm sure... I wonder if the coaches knew. Probably not. The thing is, the pros are leaky bastards. Streamers and... like, YouTubers are kind of leaky bastards as well. But man, it's just not good. Like, oh man, I love it when this happens as well. Oh, Twitter, keep delivering. Hitscan, Ryan and Miska. Let's say I love playing Baptiste. Bap gets banned in hero pools for 1 week. What's more likely? I play something else or I just don't play for that week? For a lot of people, it's the latter. They're not fucking wrong. Most of this chat has been saying exactly that. Hello, Ryan. Yeah. Oh, quit whining. The game will feel so much more fresh every week with new and fun strategies. One-trick crybabies can stay out of the game. IDK. no one in here, both Ryan and I play quite a few different heroes and are interested in seeing what people who don't think of this type of scenario, where people will open up their hero pool or feel put off. And I 100% think, like, the moment I heard about this, I literally said to Sty, like, people are just not going to play. It's so mental to me of, like, again, it's a monkey's paw. Blizzard, please change the game a little bit more frequently. Please change the game more often. Okay. Oh, you want more game changes? You'll get more game changes, fuckboy. Buckle up. It's time to change the game. We're deleting your favorite heroes. Come to Jeff, Daddy. Like, no. Fuck off. The issue with Overwatch has always been, at its core, I think, the problem that Overwatch has always faced. And I think this is the fundamental truth to this issue. The 100% I'm about to spit some real fucking fire here, because it's like, the issue has always been the inability to play what you want in a kind of way how you want, right? You can't go and say, I'm going to be the greatest Tracer who plays in the backline as much as they want, because to do that, you have to get Tracer every game, which for ages, sure, you could do it, but you wouldn't get proper games, and so it would just kind of be a nightmare. 2, you have to then deal with everyone flaming the shit out of you, because Tracer might not be good at the time, and so you don't get to be able to do that. 3, Brigitte might exist in her, like, original state and just delete you from the game, so you don't get to play in that way. Like, I like playing snipers. I like playing stuff like Widowmaker. Like, when the game first released, when the first Overwatch trailer came out, let me bring that bad boy up. I can literally tell you, right, when this bad boy dropped at BlizzCon 2014, I think, is when it came out, because I think I went to BlizzCon 2015. And this dropped, and everyone was kind of like, oh, what the fuck is this? What is this? This is so cool. No one even knew what it was, right? No one had a goddamn clue of what's happening. It was just like, holy shit, it looks fun, a little bit lighthearted, but hey, yeah, let's see how it goes. And I remember getting about 5 PMs. I don't think it was on Discord. Discord might not have been invented at the time, but I remember getting several messages all at the same time about this, about, like, you know, everyone's watching BlizzCon and they're enjoying it, and it's literally this precise moment. I got several messages saying, don't know what this is, but I know what you're playing. Right? Because yes, I have a type, right? I like snipers, I like evil ladies. It goes together, it pairs beautifully. Right? And I was like, holy shit, man, I really want to play Widowmaker. And like, as we learned about the game, man, I really want to get good at that hero. And it was like, it's the button. No, I'm actually more of a boobs person. It's the it's evil ladies. Something about evil ladies and me. Azula, name some evil ladies, chat. Like some villainous, Sylvanas was one for a good while, but they kind of ruined her. Widow is another good example. Android 21 in Fighters. I fucking off-colored. Ursula. Ursula's fucking great. I love Ursula. She's a bad bitch. You go, girl. Tentacles. Good times. A little bit too much information. Yeah, it was just like, hey, yeah. And then I found that, well, actually, playing a sniper in Overwatch, if you got really, really, really good at it, sure, like, you can have a massive impact on the game, but then, like, you discover that Winston kind of just exists. And if the Winston just spends all game sat on your face, you can't really do much about it, and you kind of just lose. Unless you get extremely good, and probably better than I could ever get, to be honest with you. So, yeah, it's always been the fundamental issue with Overwatch. The inability to play how you want to play and what you want to play. In Counter-Strike, if I want to be the AWPer, I can, like, go, hey, guys, I want to play AWP today, and I'm going to play AWP. And I can just do it. and no one could fucking stop me. And sure, like, if I'm playing in a team of, like, 5 randos and we all have AWPs, you know what? You can make that shit work. You can actually pull that shit off. You can actually make that happen. And it's to me, it's always been the issue of, like, I can't play Overwatch how I want to play Overwatch. And this does not fix that problem. This does not lead to a diverse and open meta. This does not lead to something that I feel can improve the game as a whole. It's just like going, well, everyone locks into this option immediately. We'll cut off that option, and we'll just cut it off and just make it not work. The counterpart to this, the counter argument to this, I suppose, is like, well, if they do just go in heavy-handed on the patches, isn't that kind of the same thing? Is there a difference between nerfing Brigitte into oblivion and banning Brigitte? The answer I have is kind of yes, which is that, first of all, neither solution is good. Like, that's not optimal, and that's just not good design. That's just not good game creation. But in general, I would rather have heroes underpowered and then brought back up rather than just buff this. And what tends to happen, and like I've seen this pattern too often with Blizzard, in like WoW, in Frozen Throne, in StarCraft, is like, we'll try and buff the counters to it. So, you know, this is really good. So Goats is really good. So what we'll do is we'll buff Reaper, and we'll buff May, and we'll buff Doomfist to make him better at killing tanks, and we'll buff this and that and this and that and this and that, and then it's like everyone's still playing Goats. And then they go, shit, nuclear option, 222 is enforced. Or they'll go, oh shit, nuclear option, Reinhardt's now shit. And just like he has 3 health. Goats is dead, oh my god, everyone change hero. And it's like, you know, oh, let's try and be clever, let's try and like be intricate, and let's try and fix these problems, like buff the counters to try and like deal with the problem. Oh yeah, that's sexy design. And then they just never go in and just nerf the problem. Like current issues in Overwatch, May Freeze is obnoxious as fuck, Fortify is quite powerful. Hey, they've nerfed Fortify, great, good job. Like it didn't take fucking much, right? The meta right now is opened up again. As far as I'm aware, currently the meta has reopened up. People are playing different things. People are playing Reinhardt again, playing Hammond, playing a bunch of different bits and pieces from this fucking patch. There's nothing like super dramatic in this. Storm Arrows are slightly worse. Deadeye's slightly worse. Reaper's slightly worse. And hey, Orisa got nerfed, Fortify got nerfed, and Hulk got nerfed. Guess what I said the problems were? Fortify's overpowered and Hulk's overpowered. Oh look, they nerfed Sigma ult and they nerfed the Rock. I said the Rock is overpowered. The ult is also really fucking good too. Hey look, the meta's opened up again. It's like, it's not fucking rocket surgery. And here's the thing that pisses me off. Like, there are people at Blizzard who are smart enough. I will give people the benefit of the doubt and say that there's someone at Blizzard who is smarter than me. And that's not actually something I say lightly. Like, I have a fairly high regard of my own intelligence, but I'm pretty sure there are people working at Blizzard who are smarter than me, and they can figure this shit out. And I can figure this shit out. They could just delete May. It's not hard to fix May. You just revert the change to multi-freeze. Burp, 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 burp. Oh, good. I got a message off Sty. Hey, fuckhead. What are you thinking then? Thoughts, changes. Still ranting about it live on twitch.tv. Haven't changed my thoughts. Literally been going off on one for about 30 minutes straight. Delete mate. Drabs. It's very poor taste. Very poor taste. It's a very serious thing. You ever tried to rewrite a rocket? I haven't. I wouldn't do surgery on a rocket. Surgery's scary enough as it is. Yeah, I don't know. I think Blizzard are... Be very careful these messages don't go viral. Yeah, no, like... Steinei's behind the scenes chat, although lately he's just been posting Joker gifs at me, which I think is more concerning than anything else. I literally said back to, like, he's posted a bunch of Joker gifs at me. I posted, "Oh no, you're becoming an internet weirdo. It's only downhill from here. Next you'll be asking girl streamers for feet pics." Which, as far as I'm aware, that is kind of the development, you know. Oh, we live in a society, and then it's like subbing to streamers and then saying, you know, "Oh, I've subbed to you for 6 months using my Prime sub. Please send me feet pics." So yeah, Blizzard's batting 1,000 today. Blizzard's been doing amazing. Let's talk about Warcraft Reforged quickly. Here's the thing, I own Warcraft Reforged. I pre-ordered it because I really fucking like Warcraft. Yeah. Here's the thing that pisses me off about Warcraft Reforged. I think a lot of people have, like, you know, they've hit a Reddit hype train. Right? They've gone in and they've gone, "Man, Warcraft Reforged is shit, right? Oh, thanks for the gold, kind Redditor. Thanks for all the upvotes, guys." And it's like, there's a lot of problems with Reforged in terms of, like, how they released it, just like overwriting everyone's original Warcraft 3, getting rid of the original Warcraft 3 profile system and all that kind of shit. The EULA change of, like, we're still salty about Dota and we aren't afraid of admitting it to the world. Sure. I think on the things that, like, Reforged set out to do, it kind of still works. It's a graphical update to the game. They got a ton of feedback saying, "Hey, fuckheads, don't change the story." So they didn't change the story. Thank Christ for that. I'd really rather they just leave it alone. I don't want to go on Sylvanas' wild ride as she gets promoted to a stupidly important character for no reason in a story that she's not actually that important in. Doesn't buying Warcraft 3 from means Blizzard owns your stream now. Blizzard's owned my stream since fucking 2016? No, must be, yeah, 2016, I think. Is about when I got started streaming. No, maybe 2017. It's about when I got started streaming properly. I can't even fucking remember. And they don't own my stream. They don't own shit. Here's the dark secret, right? They send you shit. They send you a lot of shit. You don't really get paid, but you do get just sent things. If you have a dog, they're going to go apeshit, by the way. They send you things. And in general, you want to play nice with them. And here's the thing, I am generally down to play nice with Blizzard, but I'm also not going to have my, like, I'm going to say my piece. Just woke up my dog, boom, done. Give your dog some pets. Show us the chair. I actually built this chair live on stream. She's now very sad she doesn't have a squeaky toy. Oh no, surely you must have some squeaky toys. You must have something. My dog just walked in and went like a word. Yes! Oh god, it's the best reason to have this fucking Pachimari. The only reason why I know it squeaks is because Queenie tweeted that her dog fucking loved it. So yeah. And yeah, here's the thing that pissed me off about Reforged. Blizzard were known for about 2 decades. For having very, very, very polished, clean games. The releases weren't always great. Like, the releases often had issues with servers and things like that, and it would go up and down and stuff like that, generally because it's super popular. So, hey, it doesn't work on, like, the first day. But after that, it's always silky smooth, it's clean. Visually, it's always great. The play experience, the feel of it, always superb. Reforged doesn't feel like that. Reforged feels like we know it's not going to go down super well, and we know that it's not going to be super popular, so fuck it, just get it out. We outsourced to a bunch of Malaysian studios to do the graphics on it, and they sent back a ton of stuff that's visually impressive but loses some of the sort of the art style, the art design sort of gets muddied and lost. And it all comes back, and it's just like, it's not as good as you would hope. I still blame Activision. I blame Activision. I blame, like... And here's the thing, it's like, it's easier to blame Activision. It's easier to go, oh yeah, no, this is just Activision's doing, but that to me, that's almost like a coward's way out of saying, like, Blizzard has no culpability of this. They do. They absolutely do. They can do better than this. But, yeah, it's the thing that sort of I've gone through in my journey with Blizzard over like the release of Overwatch to now is that the magical Blizzard has, like, even in that short period, has absolutely died. The idea that Blizzard is somehow a studio to like hold in high regard and to go, you know what, these guys are different. Everything they make is quality, and they're going to continue releasing quality for year after year after year, and that you're in good hands. I don't believe that anymore. I absolutely don't believe that anymore. I think that I used to think that it's not so much that they could do no wrong, right? Don't construe my words as that of, oh, they were perfect. They were far from perfect, but it was like they would keep working on things and they would try to make it better. And now I can't help but feel the looming shadow of Activision and go, they're not going to keep working on things. They're going to release Overwatch 2 instead and try and sell a bunch of boxed copies and kind of hope that that works. And when it inevitably doesn't, because there's no way that Overwatch 2, a PvE expansion to a PvP multiplayer game that a lot of people are already tired of, is going to sell more than Overwatch ever did. And so some developer is going to go, or some accountant's going to go, well, this made less profit, but it's still in the black. Okay, make Overwatch 3 now. And then Overwatch 3 is going to go, oh, well, that's barely in the black, so yeah, we're going to cancel that entire series. Just do like a mobile spin-off, Overwatch Legends on mobile, Overwatch Immortal, and that'll sell, it'll cost $50 to develop, and we can outsource it to a Chinese company, and they'll make it for $50, and we can sell billions and billions of dollars on it. CD Projekt Red seem to carry that mantle now, rightly or wrongly. Yeah. Yeah, I think they do. Has the crunch problem? Every company has the crunch problem. That's just part. Like and here's the thing: complaining about crunch is great, but at the end of the day, people are still going to buy games that have crunch on the end of them. I guarantee every single game in my Steam library probably has some degree of crunch time to it. It's just a matter of finding it. To me, it's a balance of like finding the studios that have really, really fucking unhealthy practices and like chipping away at those. Like the stories that came out of BioWare, just fucking atrocious, right? Like people having like breakdowns and shit. Like that shouldn't happen. Project A will save us, right? I don't know that it will. Project A, like, here's the thing: Riot are definitely not saints either. Riot have as checkered and as spotty a history as Blizzard already does. The one upside to Riot is, although they are owned by Tencent does not seem to have its tentacles like in Riot. Riot just kind of does what Riot wants to do. So it's not like the Activision situation where you got the brain parasite. I was going to use a metaphor, and I've decided not to use that metaphor. Tencent just kind of sits there and is kind of a problem, but it exists. It owns companies. If you stopped buying from Tencent, you'd have to stop buying most digital media. That's just a problem for fucking governments to solve, in my opinion. Activision actively like sinks its roots into Blizzard, and it's a problem. The weird thing is, as excited as I am for Project A, and I think Project A is going to be a good thing, I'm really excited for the fighting game. I think it's called like Project E or something. The fighting game they showed, and you only got to see like very brief footage of it, but fuck yeah, a fighting game made by like a studio as big and popular and as well renowned as Riot, and the Rising Thunder devs as well. First thing you're going to know if the Rising Thunder devs are involved is it's going to fucking run superbly online. Brain slug? Yeah. Like... But yeah, I mean, a lot of people are kind of in the Project A waiting room. Is a thing, the Project A Twitter could go for a fucking slam dunk right now. Or Riot's Twitter and just go, you know what we won't do? We won't stop you from playing, certain members of our cast. It's just... I'm looking at Twitter now. I'm looking for the hot pro spicy takes. Tavik doesn't like it. Sureforce seems excited about it. This is fine for me because I'm a flex god, which to me sounds like he's trying to laugh it off. Personal opinions about hero pools aside, this will have tremendous impact on what skills are valued in Overwatch Pro players. There are players and coaches with excellent perfectionistic trait over long periods of time. There are others who thrive for creativity and chaos. This is taking control of the game out of the player's hands straight into basically an RNG factor, because as far as we know, players aren't in on the process of selecting the heroes, they're just on the receiving end, so it's just RNG. If heroes pools forces teams to learn how to adapt faster in the game fundamentally and be more versatile in the hero pools, isn't that a good thing? Doesn't it help some players play depending on the hero pool? Yep. Overwatch League actually has a blog post on it about how they're implementing it. Starting March 7th, Overwatch League will make 1 tank, 1 support, and 2 damage heroes unavailable for selection during matches each weekend. Okay, it's just what's in the ESPN article. That's still like a month into Overwatch League, isn't it? Let me get my main thought out on the Twitterverse as well. Watching through Brett's vids, Brett is a fucking legend. Hopefully you can hear a lot of what I say reflected in what Brett says, because I love Brett. Brett is... I want to talk to that man. I want to sit him down and just talk with him, because he seems like such a good guy. That man deserves better. Here's a tweet. Yeah, we knew something for 2 days. Haha. I think I knew it for... No, I'm not going to brag. I don't know if Sty will get in trouble if I knew. Thing is, I work with Sty so much, so surely it's expected if they tell Sty, they tell him, he discusses it with me. And maybe he knows shit that I don't, but quite often I get the juice. I get a little bit of juice. Because I don't leak shit. I don't leak things. No, the pools are going to apply to Overwatch League, apparently. It's going to be one... randomly selected from a group of eligible heroes based on play rate data from the previous 2 weeks of Overwatch League matches. Only heroes that are being played regularly can be pulled from the next hero pool. So they're not just going to ban Bastion every week and go, ha ha, technically we banned a hero, guys. No, that's not going to happen. Hero pools will not be used for mid-season tournaments, the play-in tournament, playoffs, or grand finals. All heroes will be available for those matches. Ho, spicy. 1 week in advance of matches. Oh no. Oh baby. 1 second. Oh, that is spicy. Oh, man. Just mental. Absolutely mental. A key issue with hero pools is this. As a player, how does it benefit me exactly? I get fewer opportunities to play the heroes I may want to play in exchange for a more chaotic game overall. There is nothing happening here that proper balancing work cannot already do. It is a sledgehammer. And now my favorite part of sending a tweet is fine-tuning. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of this. Can get rid of this. Boom. Just, man. Keyword proper. Yeah. All it takes is an attentive development time. So I've met Jason precisely once, and I didn't get to talk to him too much. But he seems like an okay guy, and like I kind of like to meet him again. If you aren't aware, Jason was the producer for Overwatch League for Season 1, and then was basically removed because basically I think some people at Blizzard just didn't like him much because he had opinions about how the show should be run because he's an industry veteran of like a fucking decade, and so go figure, he has opinions about how the show should be run. And so he was basically removed from his position and since went back to Counter-Strike. Ever since then, he has been nothing but a salt lord, like a complete salt mine on Twitter, and it's always glorious. Every time someone says they want Valve more involved in Counter-Strike, I think of Blizzard. And it's just like, yeah. Roki already killed Tank. The issue with Tank is that just Tank is not fun to play. Like, they make tanks more fun to play. The issue with Tank goes away. Isn't that amazing? You improve your game and people want to play it more. It reminds me of when they suggested that they swapped to a 132. Like everyone had the 132 discussion, and it like all the DPS players were like, yes, no, this sounds like a great idea, and every tank player was just like, no, I don't want to be the only tank. I don't want to be the only tank. I will not play the game if I'm the only tank. And they eased off that idea. Sounds like they're pretty fucking desperate though. What's been fun for me this last week? What's been absolutely fun for me, and Dribs, you've kind of touched on it, is seeing everyone go, oh boy, I sure can't wait for the update this week. Oh, it's gonna be big, it's gonna be exciting, and good news for Overwatch. And I've just been going, oh, if only you knew how bad things really are. Only tanks I have fun playing are D.Va and Zarya. Yeah, I say the tanks I have the most fun playing are like occasional bursts of Reinhardt, but then sometimes you just, like, it's the most frustrating thing in the world, because you just don't get to play Reinhardt. And Zarya. Zarya is, like, super fun. Most tank players are queuing up for Hog and Zarya. Hog Ball is generally, like, the golden mixture I see more often than not. People playing Roadhog and people playing Hammond because they don't want to play normal tanks. Roadhog is a pseudo DPS and Hammond is Hammond. You play your own game. Again, play your own game. Playing the heroes you want to play, having individual impact on the game. That are fighters. We might do the Warcraft campaign. Like, as much as everyone shits on Reforged, it's still fucking Warcraft 3. You guys play for fun? I know. I play for fun. Fighters could be... Like, I've been getting better at Fighters. Fighters has been, like, my go-to. I do want to get back into... Like, I haven't been playing Counter-Strike for a little while. Which is kind of a shame. I've been, like, in a bit of a mood. I've been in a funk the last, like, week or so, I would say. So I've been kind of introverting up, which tends to happen when I get into a funk. Did you ever finish Barbara's You? I did not, actually. How they added the demo to the prologue? They did in Reforged. It's cool, because I've only played that demo campaign once. I hate the Hog Ball lineup. Yeah, I hate the Hog Ball lineup. Like, as a support, what do you fucking do? You play Moira and pray. You basically go Moira, Lucio, and then just hide. 1.3 KSR is top 500 for combined. Jesus. Played it a lot before I could buy Warcraft 3. I think I bought Warcraft 3 pretty quickly. On the back of playing StarCraft. Yeah, fuck it. I want to play Warcraft. I also want to do some online. I've played some online Warcraft 3. Here's the question. I don't know if there is a ladder in Warcraft 3. Is the weird thing. Like, you win games, but is it just throwing me against random people? I don't know. both the people I played were kind of terrible. I mean, I was kind of terrible. One was like completely clueless. One had some idea of how to play the game. Can you play online now in Reforged? Yes, I've played a few online matches.